If you were around for the mid-2000s, you've probably witnessed your fair share of plastic instrument concerts. In the heyday of Guitar Hero and Rock Band, you couldn't escape the things. They were at parties, GameStops, department stores, and with the release of Guitar Hero on tour, the school bus as well. Guitar Hero was a game designed to make you feel like you were pretending to play a real guitar. Guitar Hero on Tour is a game designed to make you feel like you're pretending to play a plastic guitar, and it gives you the nastiest hand cramps. This game took Guitar Hero on the go by plugging a guitar grip into the Nintendo DS's GBA slot, adding 4 physical buttons for you to tap along with as you strummed out songs on the system's touchscreen. Being an avid Guitar Hero fan, I absolutely had to get my hands on it, and I loved it. It didn't quite feel like playing the real guitar, but it was a fun way to bring the game to a handheld. It let me take Guitar Hero on the go, and that's what mattered. It was a novelty of the mid-aughts. Fun, but not something we'd ever expect to return. That wasn't until Cracked decided to bring this idea back almost 2 decades later. If you're not familiar with Fortnite Festival, Harmonix, the team behind Rock Band, was bought by Epic Games, and they developed a new rhythm game inside Fortnite. It's essentially Rock Band, but you play it on a normal controller. If you want the classic rock experience, it offers a pro lead and bass mode that lets you play with your old plastic guitars. Cracked really said, "Hey, remember Guitar Hero on Tour?" and then dropped a special Fortnite edition of their Neo S controller, complete with the purple Fortnite paint job and the guitar grip, reminiscent of the DS days. If you know my content, you know that I've got a bit of a grudge against Cracked. Their Nitro Deck Plus was a faulty product that damaged my Switch and other people's Switches due to poor design decisions and quality control. However, my love of rhythm games outweighs that, so I decided to pick up one of these to give it a review. Worst case scenario, it's not like this can damage my Switch anymore. Oh yeah, that's the first weird thing about this controller. It's for Switch, arguably one of the worst systems to play Fortnite on. It's not going to work on Xbox or PlayStation, although I really wish it would. It should work on PC and mobile, but I'll be focusing my use of it on the Switch. I think the weirdest choice here though, is that the Neo S normally uses the Switch button layout, but this one lays out everything like an Xbox controller. By default, every button press on this thing felt wrong. Thankfully, you can remap every button on the Neo S using the Cracked app, so I mapped all the buttons to their correct location on a Switch controller. By default, the grip portion of the controller has 3 mappings: Hard, Expert, and Pro, which you can rotate by holding all 5 of the buttons for 5 seconds until the LED color changes. It's all mapped to the thumb playstyle, which I can't stand. I play the thumb, index, and middle mode. Thankfully, you can remap the grip too, and I set my mapping to one that made sense to me. In general, I'm not a fan of how it's configured out of the box, but with a little tweaking, you can get it exactly how you want it. You'll need to do a bit of mapping in Fortnite itself for your pro controls. Unlike Guitar Hero on Tour, there's no touchscreen to act as your strum bar, so you have to map buttons to act as your strums. I initially went with A and X and kept overdrive mapped to B, but when that felt weird, I tried moving strums in overdrive to the D-pad on the bottom. There's no way to strum on this without it looking and feeling goofy. I wish we had a more authentic feeling way to do it like we did on DS. With everything all set up, I gave this a spin. As a Guitar Hero veteran, I still only managed to eke out 2 or 3 stars on every song I played. Using this controller is unwieldy, goofy, and legitimately makes the game harder. But weirdly enough, it's kind of fun. I think there's a special type of plastic instrument enthusiast who would love this thing. If you want to play with a weird controller and don't want a high score, this might be worth checking out. I decided to give this a shot for non-pro gameplay too, switching to using buttons without strumming. It works, but I can't really say that I prefer it to just playing thumb, index, and middle, since it puts overdrive out of reach. That said, it made playing the drums a little easier, so I'll chalk that up to a win. How is the Neo S for other games though? Well, just like any other controller really. You can actually use the buttons on the guitar grip like any other buttons, but if you feel like they're getting in the way, you can easily just take the grip off. The Neo S is a boxy controller, and its ergonomics are contested to say the least. Despite its square shape, I found it kinda comfy. The bumps on the back help it fit in your hands a little bit better. The controller itself feels a bit like a Happy Meal toy though. The plastic on the back and the triggers gives it a very cheap feel, and the buttons are nothing to write home about. Oh yeah, and it also has 2 back paddles that you can map to whatever you want if you're into that sort of thing. Weird thing is, you can't remap these if the guitar grip is on. They only work as the ZR button no matter how you program them, which is a bummer since they'd be perfect for mapping overdrive. You can't even disable them though. This means that if you accidentally press the button on back while playing, that's a combo breaker. And can I also just mention again how weird it is that this is a Switch controller with an Xbox button layout? As far as I know, this is the only Neo S controller to do that. The sticks managed to save the controller though, with the metallic purple on the bottom looking mighty pretty, and the sticks themselves feeling pretty lovely. They're Hall effect sticks too, known for avoiding drift. And you can replace the tops with other cracked stick toppers, and their dead zones can be customized in the Cracked app. The rumble can be adjusted in the app as well, although it's your standard motors, not HD rumble. They're fine and don't have the cheap buzz of some lower end Switch controllers. The gyro, however, does feel cheap. I caught my aim going completely off in Splatoon 3 and in Fortnite. I have never had a Switch controller with bad gyro before, so congrats on being the first Neo S. So overall, what do I think of this controller? I like it. It's for a very specific type of person, and that person is me. The purple wavy design is loud, and I love it. And the guitar buttons make me nostalgic for my days of Guitar Hero on DS. It doesn't make the game any easier, but I think it makes it fun. If you want a little novelty in your gameplay and don't mind hurting your score, it's worth considering. Keep in mind this is only going to work on Switch, PC, and mobile though, which is especially a bummer since you won't be able to use it in local multiplayer, a feature only on PlayStation and Xbox. And it's especially baffling since it has the Xbox button layout on it. And maybe it's just me, but this controller did not play nice with my PC at all. So if you're buying this for your PC, your mileage may vary. As a normal controller though, it's fine. Its form factor makes it great for traveling, and I could see myself using this on a flight or in a hotel. I just don't think I'd pay the $60 asking price for a Neo S without the Fortnite Festival branding. It feels cheap compared to many other controllers available at the same price point. I can really only recommend this if you're an avid Fortnite Festival player and don't mind trading high scores for novel gameplay. I think it's a fun toy, but it's not for everyone. So what do you think? Is this a controller that you're interested in? Are you interested in seeing what Cracked does next? What's the weirdest controller you've ever used? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!